fellow peoples of the Southern Cameroons, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na number 17 for March 2019. My name is Capo Daniel. I'm going to be doing a series of interviews and presentation to give perspective about what did happen and to define certain institutions to reinforce a proper narrative of what is going on so that people can understand, people who listen to me can understand the directions of things. So this one will be focused on the consortium and subsequent ones will be focused on other issues. Sometimes for this was struggle, a lot of mispresentation, distortion, and lies, outright lies. Sometimes they get into the way. Sometimes those are actually mistakes. Sometimes those are deliberate. But it is always good to try to investigate and clear things so that people will have a clear mind. So there was an issue about a presentation by investigative activist Digimas about a split in the consortium. Remember, the consortium is the most important organization in this our revolution, common revolution, in terms of the only organization that has a direct mandate from ground zero, because they are made up of civil society leaders who were voted and given a mandate before they constitute that body of the consortium. So please follow me through this interview with Anye Kevin of the consortium, and hope you pick up one or two things and clarify certain issues.
I am the deputy president of the Confederation of Trade Unions. Okay. The Confederation of Trade Unions is made up of all trade unions in the country, okay, including, yes, and not limited to, all trade unions. Okay. Even during the time when Comrade Tassan was there, I'm sure that you may have noticed that I deliberately stay off signing certain communiques that did not meet the aspirations of what a revolution is supposed to be. You know, there are people with integrity. If you notice, I stopped signing even when they made the election of the consortium. I refused to be part of their executive because I saw, in fact, most of them, the election, for instance, before we used to deliberate on issues, and before any communique comes out, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, before we come out with any communique, we used to deliberate and agree on the things that have to be on the communique.
Yeah, I understand.
But recently, communications have been coming out without. Well, I'm part of the consortium.
Okay.
You know. Yeah. I'm part of the communication, the consortium, but
the communications that are coming out there, do they reflect the deliberations?
Most of the communications since Comrade John Accord was made, the consortium, through the means that he used, which to me, I was dissatisfactory with it, but I acknowledge him because the other people were behind him, you know, and when he had been there, we had never had a meeting or deliberations on any communication that had ever come out from the consortium since then. And even the recent
the consortium, no deliberations on.
I have never been part of any deliberations on any release that has gone out there.
Have you not been part of it because you have not been invited, or there have not been any such deliberations?
No, we have a consortium group. We have a consortium group that we deliberate on issues and make decisions thereof.
There no deliberation has taken place, as what you said.
We haven't. Even concerning the upcoming Fontem conference.
Yes. Have you had any deliberations?
I only heard.
Yeah.
We never had any deliberations to that effect. And I only heard on social media. So when I called him, yes, I called him to ask him that, but what's happening there? He told me that no, he had discussed, that was when he gave Fontem's number to me. And I called Fontem, and Fontem was trying to, you know, explain himself to me and all of that, you know. But my position remains that we are determined for a free Southern Cameroons. And there is no way we can be mixing things around. The meeting with any federalist has nothing to add to the actions that we would be implementing to get the right results towards our liberation as a people.
I would have expected that the consortium would deliberate on such an invitation to participate with Fontaniba. So, but despite the fact that
there was no such deliberation.
And when you had your conversation with Dr. Fontaniba, were you satisfied that it will be productive for the consortium to go ahead, or were you still having reservations, and have you expressed those to the entire consortium or to John Bakoro?
Well, when in the consortium forum, nothing like that had come up, so how do you go to express that?
Don't you being a participant of that forum, you can raise up issues that are concerning to...
No, I am participating in the forum, but when the occasion does not arise he was the one that was supposed to bring, Fontem has contacted me for such and such an issue, what do we think about it? And I make my position very clear.
So now that he has gone on, he didn't do it that the way you had expected, that everybody would expect, but he has contacted you behind, and it is now a behind issue. Would you consider?
He didn't. I contacted him.
Okay, you contacted him, and then he gave you the number. He gave you the number.
I contacted him.
Yeah.
Yes, I contacted him after I noticed that he had two numbers on the consortium forum. He had two of his numbers there. He removed the number that he was the admin of the consortium. He was the sole admin of the consortium, despite the fact that we had, in several occasions, insist that one person cannot be admin in the consortium. I saw him, he removed one of his numbers that he was admin and made me the admin of consortium, the administrator of that consortium group. So I called him now, he had another number there. I called the other number, and I, just to have a discussion to that effect after I've been hearing, ranting discussions on social media, Princess Harriet's output on the said conference and all of that, When I called him, that was when he had to discuss and disclose so many things to me concerning the upcoming meeting. But then he advised me to talk with Fontem and send me Fontem's number, which of course the next day I had to call Fontem, and I spoke with Fontem at length. He tried to explain to me things and encourage me that we need to give support to the conference and all of that, and all that we should write and throw our weight towards the realization of the conference.
Do you support the conference? Do you support the participation of the conference, of the consortium?
I don't support, because garbage in, garbage out. What are they going to be negotiating with federalists? People
if I may ask you, would you consider making a complaint or tabling the matter to be discussed in the consortium forum?
What for, when a decision has already been taken and the president has already been making rounds and supporting, and you don't do that. It was supposed to be, it's like you're taking the second step before the first step.
Regarding the consortium as it is, from the initial press release of the consortium after the election of John Bakoro, there was a clause that says the presidency is going to be rotated. Am I correct?
Oh, yes, I think so. In the constitution that we amended, something
the
like that was
constitution
there.
said that the presidency have to be rotative. And why is it not rotating? Why is still John Bakoro still the sole president there till now and making decisions out of consultation?
Well, that is, ever since he's been there, we haven't held any meeting.
So there's no chance for somebody to replace him as he was supposed to be replaced.
Well, what I noticed was that, please, I'm not trying to bring down Comrade John Barako by saying that he has not had any meeting with in the consortium or trying to, but I'm trying to be factual here by saying that I noticed that, of course, the other members of the consortium, despite the fact that I've been criticizing the IG and I said it's a scam and that it cannot take us anywhere from day one, and everything had proven that the IG is a scam. And I kept educating them on the back, and I told them, but I realized that all of them, including all of them are loyalists. They are all IG members. Even when they wanted to make a declaration, if you notice that they made a declaration that the consortium supports the IG.
Not actually the IG. I'm asking about the rotating presidency of the consortium as was stated in your initial publication after John Bakoro was elected. Why is it not rotating as was expected?
Well, that's best known to the executive of the consortium. I took the position of a floor member.
So are you guys really competent there? Because it looks like for me, you guys have written constitution that nobody even remember, or you don't even think it applies or how it works. That is how
Yes, because I don't see it being implemented. So why should you focus your energy on something that has already failed and you want to put what? So I've been working alone. There are a lot of things that I've done alone, and I've been working very hard. I don't sleep. If you can see, you're calling me now. It's what time is it now? Now it's 5:41 a.m. in the morning. I'm still awake because I can't sleep while our people are dying.
Yeah, Mr. Kevin Anye, I think we really appreciate your service in particularly during the early days of the struggle, rallying people, making sure that the policy for boycott and everybody was behind it, even with your diplomatic gains with bringing Patrick Lumumba inside. We already appreciate that. But just about the consortium, don't you think all of you guys within the consortium have a responsibility to make it effective, and that when you guys make agreements, those agreements have to actually mean something? Because what I realize is that everywhere I see in our struggle, people make resolution, makes laws, and if they don't even know, the next day they turn like they don't even know. How can we really be effective if you guys are not competent? Because if you agreed and you create an institution, the consortium in this case, the
consortium wasn't like that before. You see,
now that is how the consortium is, because you actually elected a president, John Bakoro, with an agreement that the presidency will be rotative. He may not be competent to. If he want to stay, he may want to stay in power by not implementing that clause. But it is also incumbent on the other members to make sure that they implement what they say. Otherwise, all of you are not competent.
That's right. You have a right to say that. That all of us are not competent. Of course, the executive bureau is not competent if you go in from that judgment. But the consortium, you agree with me that the consortium remains the strong backbone of the revolution. And if you notice, we've been doing a lot of work to make sure that we got this far, and it wasn't in a haphazard manner. But ever since we got to Nigeria, things changed. Even the consortium meeting that we sacrificed the Lord, the only consortium meeting that I chaired, I organized and chaired here in Nigeria with Comrade Tassan, that took Comrade Tassan and John, a report went out that I've taken money from La Republique to organize that meeting. That meeting equally took certain resolutions. That's when the Frederick, for instance, became a member of the governing council then. Tapang, Ivo, and Mark Barata, they were dismissed, and so many things, resolutions. All of that had been shaded under. Nobody even knows. Even during the meeting, I saw how people are power hungry. They want to be like they're the only one. Even after that meeting,
I know the power. The thing is that our society, just a comment. People tend to think that power is a bad thing. Actually, power is a good thing. Every leader should try to get power to do the things that he wants for the struggle. You are looking for power, not for power's sake.
I disagree with you.
No, let me finish. I think that, for example,
service.
Yeah,
leaders have to be of service. It is your actions.
Yeah, you don't look for power's sake. Leaders who are effective, they have to struggle to look for power for the people. For example, you are a talented person and you have an incompetent president or incompetent leader. You would have to try to step up to take that leadership, not for yourself, but for the people and for the service of that office. So that is how I see it. So I don't think power itself is a power struggle itself is a bad thing, so long as it is geared towards helping the people. Like in America, they have to go through fight in elections to choose a leader. A leader have to step up to fight for that power. So it's not a bad thing. That is what democracy is all about. But my brother, I want to ask you, as an activist, and this is a revolution, to ask you if after this interview you are going to take measures so that the consortium will become a more effective institution, and when you have decision being made on having an important meeting like the one with Fontaine-Niba, you guys are going to really represent us the best way you could, have deliberation, have consideration to make sure that you safeguard the rule of the consortium, because the consortium remains the mandator from ground zero. You remember, you are the only institution that were directly voted by people from ground zero. So I want you to reassure me, because I am going to release this interview to the public, that you are going to take steps to make sure that the consortium is effective as your duty to the consortium and to the people.
Well, I hope you're not trying to make me advocate for some kind of coup d'etat to overthrow the current president of the consortium.
No, I don't think. Let me just clarify before you answer.
I'll do my efforts. Yeah. I'll do my efforts and bring that up in the consortium forum. So maybe if they deem it necessary, I think discussed with. I received complaint even from Comrade Anye Kevin, one of the consortium leaders, who was telling me that he has to advocate for an extraordinary meeting of the consortium to evaluate the works that John Barr, because since he got on leadership position, he had never organized any meeting. We had never deliberated on any issue. So I'll throw that in the house if the members deem it necessary, and then I think it's about service, and I'm ready to offer my service until Southern Cameroon is totally liberated from the colonial regime of Mr. Biya and the imperial allies.
Yeah.
So, and I'm doing a lot towards that direction, even without being the leader of the consortium. So, we keep the focus. The focus is towards where
to decolonize
our energy at this time. Yes, our energy at this time should be focused towards implementing right strategies that will lead us to a total and unconditional independence for our people.
Yes. So, sir, Mr. Anye Kevin, I want to tell you, sir, that sometimes we get things wrong. I think in certain instances in Africa, people will cry for a coup d'etat because sometimes we get stigmatized we get trapped in with notions that the white man say are wrong. But actually, sometimes coup d'etat are necessary because sometimes you have government becomes the enemy of progress in that country. I want to say that in Cameroon, we have a situation where a lot of ineffective leaders who are working against the people, they really needs to be taken out of that position. I'm sure it will be the benefit for La République du Cameroon for them to remove their president unseat their president. So when me as an activist, I advocate that leaders who are not effective, they should be removed from power. It is not a bad thing. I know we still have the concept in our community that anything to remove somebody from power, it is wrong because they will say that, oh, you have an agenda. Agenda have become a negative word, a negative connotation. But trust me, my brother, we are better served when we all try to be effective. It's not that you must not necessarily remove people from power in certain instances, but we try to be effective. And in cases where you don't have mechanism to restrict the leader or make the leader better, or a leader is just incompetent, then you have to consider that option. So I'm not advocating for a removal of John Baokoro per se, but you guys really have to be competent as a consortium and also make sure that your leadership is working in synergy. So that very important things that needs deliberation should be deliberated, and your resolution should also be applied. Otherwise, you come and you tell the Ambazonia people that these are your resolutions, and behind you are not implementing them, and we have the impression that this is a functioning organization, which resolutions or publications represents the member. But now we learn that there are no deliberations, and that is how it is.
Yeah, I think that you're right to say that. If you listen to, for instance, if you listen to the last outing of John Bakoro, who said after response to Gigima's outing, I think he said that I was contesting to be Princess Harriet, called all the consortium members and was proposing to them that I can be the competent that she has seen that I'm competent to be the next leader of the consortium and stuff like that. And John's reply was like mockery, like, I left angrily and then I rejoined. I never left the consortium. I just told them I congratulated him for his position according to how the other members have elected him there. And it's not about, we should learn to serve instead of being served as leaders, And I'm a servant leader, and I believe in service. I believe in working for the people, and I will continue to do this for. That is what is necessary, especially at the moment when our people are dying in their numbers. I can't sleep because sometimes I'm used to most of the people on the ground fighting, So when this one is killed, the thing troubles me. I can't sleep, because I'm close to most of them. So it's just that we need to find a way to stop the killings on the ground and equip our people to be able to defend themselves against the adversary. We can successfully chase these people out of our territory if only we as a people are determined to do that. Nobody's going to do that for us.
Yes, my
leaders
brother. I think we are determined. Our people, especially those in Ground Zero at the moment, have shown determination that we as a people are ready to liberate ourselves. Yeah,
So
I think that is what I
we
wanted
need
to say to you, that we have the
need to
determination.
just
The
put-
thing that is failing our people is leadership. Our leaders are failing our people. Most of them are not competent. They fight for power's sake, and you find people in power and they don't even implement the things that they decide to do as a community. That is my frustration as an activist, because I see our people being determined and they are being led down by leaders who do not care about them. Leaders who just want to be leaders for leadership's sake. Leaders who want to attend meeting not because they think it is going to accomplish anything, and leaders who are taking decisions based to outsmart other leaders in terms to become showman. It's like a celebrity contest. So it frustrates me, because even when you do things, sometimes people even interpret it as being of those caliber because we have a lot of them around. It's my hope and my prayer that for the sake of those of our people who are dying, we are going to give them our best as activists, and you guys who are leaders as well will be more efficient and look for ways to be better in what you do, so that we give them the best service they deserve during this time.
Well, thank you so much, Comrade Capo, for this. God being our helper, and hopefully, I'm very sure, I am very determined, and I know that God is working out the answer, and we will do the right actions, we will take the right decisions, we will implement them, and carry out the right actions, and our people and ourselves will be free.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and God bless you.
God bless you. That was an interview with Anye Kevin, and it highlights the problems we are facing. Generally in Africa, you have a lot of leadership issue, people who are not very competent, people who have complete disregards for other people as a team. We have to learn to work with each other, consultation, and leadership matters. Why our people are waiting for independence. It is the leadership that have to translate the momentum and the effort of those boys who are fighting on ground zero. They have sleepless night. The leaders don't have to sleep. It is outraging to find out that you have institutions where people are not even having a meeting. They are not even talking. And people are on ground zero fighting, expecting miracles to come from the diaspora. As efforts are going before, we try to put our leaders on toes and make sure that they are competent, and those ones who are incompetent have to go. There is no way we can succeed if we have incompetent people. And John Bakoro is a very resourceful person. I hope that the consortium get its act together so that they can serve the people that they represent and the nation as well. With the amount of debt in our territory, we cannot tolerate incompetency in any regard, in any government institutions or in any organization that is serving the revolution. We hope this is not the case in this case, but it just highlights the issues. And God bless you. Hope this interview adds something to your knowledge about what is going on. My name is Capo Daniel. Bye-bye. Fellow peoples of the Southern Cameroons, fellow Ambazonians, today, na number 17 for March 2019. My name is Capo Daniel. I'm going to be doing a series of interviews and presentation to give perspective about what did happen and to define certain institutions to reinforce a proper narrative of what is going on so that people can understand, people who listen to me can understand the directions of things. So this one will be focused on the consortium, and subsequent ones will be focused on other issues. Sometimes for this was struggle, a lot of mispresentation, distortion, and lies, outright lies. Sometimes they get into the way. Sometimes those are actually mistakes. Sometimes those are deliberate. But it is always good to try to investigate and clear things so that people will have a clear mind. So there was an issue about a presentation by investigative activist Digimas about a split in the consortium. Remember, the consortium is the most important organization in this our revolution, Coffin Revolution, in terms of the only organization that has a direct mandate from ground zero, because they are made up of civil society leaders who were voted and given a mandate before they constitute that body of the consortium. So please follow me through this interview with Anye Kevin of the consortium, and hope you pick up one or two things and clarify certain issues.
I am the Deputy President of the Confederation of Trade Unions. Okay. The Confederation of Trade Unions is made up of all trade unions in the country. including